الله نور السماوات والأرض الله نور السماوات والأرض مثل نوره كمشكاة فيها مصباح المصباح في زجاجة الزجاجة كأنها كوكب دري يوقد من شجرة مباركة زيتونة لا شرقية ولا غربية يكاد زيتها يضيء ولو لم تمسسه نار نور على نور يهدي الله لنوره من يشاء ويضرب الله الأمثال للناس والله بكل شيء عليم.
صدق الله العظيم. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته، وأسعد الله صباحكم بكل خير. سعادة رئيس مجلس إدارة كلية جدة العالمية ورئيس مجلس الأمناء الدكتور صالح بن جميل ملائكة، سعادة عميد الكلية ورئيس المؤتمر الدكتور طارق بن فؤاد حمدي، سعادة المدير العام الأستاذ يزيد بن محمد الطيب التونسي، السيدات والسادة الحضور الكرام، نلتقي هنا اليوم في رحاب كلية جدة العالمية في المؤتمر الدولي الثاني في الابتكار المتقدم في المدن الذكية. نلتقي وأعيننا على خطوات متسارعة في عصر سمته التطور، حيث تعيد التكنولوجيا تشكيل مدننا وأنماط حياتنا. هنا يجتمع المبدعون ليخطوا معا نحو مستقبل أكثر ذكاء واستدامة وابتكارا. نلتقي تحت سماء وطن عظيم وراية خضراء خفاقة، وطن يمضي برؤية طموحة ترسي أسس التحول الرقمي وتعزز مكانة هذا الوطن كمركز عالمي للتكنولوجيا والابتكار. من قلب هذه الرؤية الطموحة تتكاتف السواعد في هذا المؤتمر ليكون منصة تجمع العلماء والمهندسين والباحثين وصناع القرار لمناقشة أحدث الحلول التي تجعل المدن أكثر اتصالا وكفاءة واستجابة لمتطلبات المستقبل بأكثر من 100 ورقة علمية في أكثر من 17 مجالا. فأهلا وسهلا بكم في رحلة الابتكار، حيث يعاد تعريف المستقبل بمداد العلم والإبداع وفي صرح من صروح العلم هنا في كلية جدة العالمية.
Picture this. Real-time data pouring in from a myriad of devices, all effortlessly analyzed to streamline decision-making and enhance how we live and work. It's a transformation that's making our cities more than just concrete jungles. It's making them efficient, sustainable, and downright enjoyable. Imagine a symphony where artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things are the star performers, each enhancing the other's melody. In this orchestration of technology, we find ourselves amidst a revolutionary concert, altering the very rhythm of our daily lives. Picture this, a grand interconnectivity where sensors, computers, vehicles, smartphones, buildings, and software dance in harmony through the cosmic web of the Internet. It's a sight to behold, and it's our reality. The magic truly unfolds when AI takes center stage to conduct a masterpiece from the data ballet. The colossal streams of information, ceaselessly produced by Internet of Things devices, are no longer a cacophony. AI swoops in, deciphering patterns, extracting insights, and presenting us with a symphonic analysis that's both enlightening and actionable. In the industrial realm, this collaboration is nothing short of a revolution. Decision makers can now orchestrate their operations with finesse, predicting trends and detecting irregularities effortlessly. The result? A smoother production crescendo and a standing ovation for efficiency. But it doesn't stop there. AI and IoT join forces to serenade our cities, too. Imagine urban landscapes where technology takes the baton to conduct improvements in real time. Smart city applications are the moving movements amplifying the infrastructure's melody and refining the quality of life for all the city's inhabitants. Ever heard of a city that's not just a city but a symphony of smart technology orchestrated to enhance our daily dance through urban life? Welcome to the era of smart cities, where cutting-edge tech, like artificial intelligence and the Internet of Things, is the rock star that's transforming the urban landscape into a futuristic marvel. Defining smart cities.
حضورنا الكرام، بعد هذه الافتتاحية نستمع الآن إلى كلمة سعادة الدكتور طارق بن فؤاد حمدي، رئيس المؤتمر وعميد كلية جدة العالمية، حيث يشاركنا رؤيته حول أهمية هذا الحدث وتأثيره في تشكيل مستقبل المدن الذكية. فليتفضل مشكورا.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم، والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم. It's my honor to welcome you to Jeddah International College as we come together to witness the launch of the second international conference on advanced technology in smart cities for the year of 2025, held in coordination with IEEE, one of the largest scientific institutions in this field. Smart city solutions are fundamentally based on 8 key pillars: healthcare, governance, environment, transportation, energy, safety and information security, infrastructure, and education. Accordingly, this conference, held over 3 days, will focus on these key areas by hosting a distinguished group of scientists, researchers, and technology pioneers. They will exchange ideas and experience, discuss potential opportunities and solutions, and develop technologies and innovation that contribute to advancing our cities toward becoming globally recognized smart cities. The conference will feature 100 scientific papers on smart city employment, prepared by 360 researchers from 29 countries, distributed across 24 scientific sessions. Additionally, it will include 2 workshops, cybersecurity hackathon competition, and the participation of our 4 distinguished speakers who will enrich the event by their insight and future visions, helping transform smart cities from concept to reality. I'm very glad to announce these are the proceedings of our conference for more than 100 papers, scientific papers, that have been published. Finally, I would like to extend my sincere gratitude and appreciation to the various conference committees for their dedication in organizing and overseeing this event, as well as to the faculty members, administrative staff, and the students to their great efforts in ensuring the conference that will come to the presented in an honorable manner worthy for Jeddah International College. Also, I express my appreciation to our esteemed keynote speakers for their presence and their valuable contributions, and to the researchers who have presented the essence of their ideas in the form of scientific papers at this conference. Furthermore, I would like to extend my gratitude to our partners in success, including those who conducted the specialized workshop and sponsoring the conference, who contribute in making this conference a success one, inshallah. Thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy these 3 days in our Jeddah International College. Thank you.
ضيوفنا الكرام، نقف الآن مع كلمة سعادة الدكتور صالح بن جميل ملائكة رئيس مجلس إدارة كلية جدة العالمية، ليحدثنا عن دور الكلية في تعزيز البحث والابتكار في المملكة ودعمها المستمر لمثل هذه الفعاليات العلمية الرائدة.
ما يفتح. ما تقدر تغطي الشاشة؟ افتحه عادي.
بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أصحاب السعادة بسم الله والحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. أصحاب السعادة، الإخوة والأبناء الحضور، السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته، وأسعد الله صباحكم بكل خير. يشرفني أن أرحب بكم جميعا في رحاب كلية جدة العالمية لنشهد سويا الدورة الثانية على التوالي للمؤتمر الدولي الثاني للتقنيات المتقدمة في المدن الذكية للعام 2025، والذي يقام بالتنسيق مع هيئة JIC.ICAISC كأكبر مؤسسة علمية في هذا المجال. الإخوة الكرام، يخضع العالم حاليا لتحول رقمي غير مسبوق واستخدام متزايد لتقنيات الذكاء الاصطناعي وإنترنت الأشياء والبيانات الضخمة، هذا بالإضافة إلى ظهور مفاهيم جديدة حول المدن المستدامة والحوكمة الذكية وأمن المعلومات، وهو ما يشير إلى أن البشرية في طريقها إلى تغيير نمط حياتها تغييرا جذريا في ظل إمبراطورية رقمية لا تغيب عنها الشمس، ومدن ذكية تتوسع حضاريا بشكل سريع مع نشأة تحديات متزايدة تحتاج إلى حلول مبتكرة. تعمل المدن الذكية على توفير خدمات ذكية ومبتكرة وتعزيز الحياة الاجتماعية والثقافية وتقليل استهلاك الطاقة وتعزيز مشاريع استدامة الموارد وتحسين حركة المرور عبر تطوير أنظمة النقل الذكية وزيادة كفاءة البنية التحتية وتعزيز الأمن والسلامة من خلال نظم المراقبة والرصد الذكية وحماية الخصوصية ومواجهة التهديدات السيبرانية وتحفيز الابتكار وتطوير الاقتصاد الرقمي. لم يتوقف مفهوم المدن الذكية عند كونها مدنا تستجيب فقط للتغييرات، بل تتعدى ذلك إلى مدن تتبنى منهجية تتماشى مع هذه التغيرات، ومعالجة التحديات بأساليب استباقية من خلال توظيف آليات الذكاء الاصطناعي وإنترنت الأشياء وتحليل الكميات الضخمة من البيانات التي تنتج داخل منظومتها لصناعة بيئة قادرة على التكيف وتوقع الاحتياجات المستقبلية لساكنيها الحاليين وأجيالها القادمة. وهي أمور تستهدف تحسين جودة حياة السكان وتسهيل أعمالهم اليومية وتعزيز رفاهيتهم وتوفير مستقبل مزدهر لهم. ونحن في هذا الصرح العلمي المتميز كلية جدة العالمية لا نريد أن يكون دورنا هو أن نكون مجرد مستخدمين لهذه التقنيات، ولكننا نسعى كي نشارك في صناعة مدن الغد الذكية وأن نرصد ملامحها ونحدد مكوناتها ونضع الحلول لمشكلاتها ونطور الابتكارات اللازمة لاستدامة أعمالها. ومن هنا كان انطلاق هذا المؤتمر الذي يعقد على مدار 3 أيام ويستضيف كوكبة متميزة من العلماء والباحثين وصناع التقنية ليتبادلوا الأفكار والخبرات ويناقشوا الإمكانيات والحلول ويطور التقنيات والابتكارات التي تعيد تعريف مدننا لتكون أكثر ذكاء وكفاءة ومرونة، ويعمل على تعزيز التنمية المستدامة وتحسين جودة حياتنا كأحد الأهداف التي تسعى إليها رؤية المملكة 2030. ولذلك أود أن أتقدم بشكري إلى كل من شارك في صناعة هذا الحدث الضخم حتى يخرج بصورة مشرفة تليق بكلية جدة العالمية وبلدنا الكريم. مرة أخرى مرحبا بكم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله. بسم الله.
ضيوفنا الكرام، يعد معهد مهندسي الكهرباء والإلكترونيات من أكبر المؤسسات الداعمة للتقدم التقني والهندسي عالميا. الآن نستمع إلى كلمة المعهد يلقيها المهندس إبراهيم نصار.
السلام عليكم. طبعا I'm here on behalf of the vice chair of the section, which is who is Dr. Adnan Al-Bar, because he's out of the country for an emergency. So I'm here on behalf of him. I was an integral part of the organization of this conference since quite a long time, which is now this is the second round of the conference. I have been through with a wonderful team here of JIC and IEEE Western Saudi Arabia section. I want to thank each and everyone in their efforts. I see a success story, an exceptional success story, to have this conference held in Jeddah. I still remember the first meetings we had with Dr. Tariq and the conference committees. It was very, very, we had ambitions, we have plans, we have plans to promote innovation for the smart cities in Jeddah. I want to thank all the people who sponsored, who I want to thank Dr. Saleh Al-Malaika for his support, for his extended support. The GM, Mr. Muhammad, Mr. Tayyib, Abu Tayyib, and Dr. Tariq, the Dean, and everyone here. You know, it's building something from an idea or is kind of challenge, but with consistency and with persistence and with teamwork, it turns to be a very successful story. Now, other universities, other institutions in the country, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, they are following the steps of this conference. They are using it as a model, and this proves that we can do a successful story like this one. And I will leave the numbers with the scientific committee to mention the people who were interested to apply, the people who from all over the world, from all the countries of the world, they are interested to join and collaborate and give their contribution to this conference. This all proves the success story, and I want to extend my thanks to each and every member of the committees in the IEEE Western Saudi Arabia and the Jeddah International College. And I want to consider this as a gift from IEEE Western Saudi Arabia and JIC to the city of Jeddah, to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, and to the Vision of 2030. I want you to enjoy the conference, learn and collaborate and look for the future with ambitions, but with plans as well. So thank you and welcome to the conference, and have a wonderful 3 days. Thank you.
الآن ضيوفنا الكرام يتفضل رئيس اللجنة العلمية للمؤتمر سعادة الأستاذ الدكتور مصطفى نوفل لإلقاء كلمته.
اي معروض خلاص.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله صلى الله عليه وآله وصحبه وسلم، وبعد. برعاية كريمة من سعادة رئيس مجلس الأمناء ورئيس مجلس الإدارة الدكتور صالح ملايكة، وبدعوة كريمة من سعادة عميد الكلية ورئيس المؤتمر سعادة الأستاذ الدكتور طارق حمدي، وترحيب عطر من سعادة المدير العام الأستاذ يزيد التونسي، يشرفني أن أرحب بحضراتكم في مؤتمركم الثاني للابتكارات المتقدمة في المدن الذكية للعام 2025، وأحييكم بتحية الإسلام، تحية من عند الله مباركة طيبة، فالسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته، وطبتم وطاب ممشاكم، وأهلا بكم في هذا المؤتمر بكافة جوانبه وتجلياته. في عام 1969 ترجل رجل الفضاء الأمريكي نيل أرمسترونج ليخطو أول خطوات خطاها إنسان على سطح القمر، وقال كلمته المشهورة: إنها خطوة صغيرة لإنسان لكنها قفزة هائلة للبشرية. That is a small step for a man, but one giant leap for mankind. وكان الرجل بذلك يعلن أن البشرية ستنتقل إلى مرحلة جديدة في حياتها تتغير فيها كل مقومات الحياة فيما بعد. فقبل أن ينتهي ذلك العقد ظهرت الإنترنت لتحول العالم إلى قرية صغيرة وتفتح المجال أمام عموم الناس لتنساب المعلومات بين أيديهم. ومنذ ذلك الوقت تغيرت حياة الناس وانسابت المعلومات وفقدت الجغرافيا دلالتها وجوهرها واختزلت المسافات وتقارب الزمن وأصبحت المعلومات بين يدي الناس بصورة غير مسبوقة، حتى أنك حينما تنظر في تاريخ البشرية تجد أن ما تم إنجازه علميا خلال العقود الأخيرة يعدل ما تم إنجازه خلال التاريخ البشري كله، وأن قفزات هائلة تطرأ على حياة الناس كل عدة سنوات، وأن كمية المعلومات الموجودة بين يدي الناس اليوم ستتضاعف خلال سنوات قليلة قادمة. هذا التصور أنتج في أذهان الناس كيف يمكن استغلال كل هذا الكم من المعلومات والبيانات والتقنيات في صناعة مدن أكثر ذكاء. وظهر مفهوم المدن الذكية، وهو حلم يداعب الناس في صورة عالم سحري تتحول فيه البشر إلى كائنات رقمية تتواصل مع بعضها في ذلك العالم الافتراضي الذي لا ينام، وتتحول فيه الآلات إلى كائنات ذكية تنافس البشر في أداء مهام دقيقة وحساسة بسرعة ودقة أكثر مما يفعل البشر. هنا كان مفهوم المدن الذكية قابلا للتطبيق، لكن هذا المفهوم يجد معاناة من الباحثين والعلماء كيف يمكن تطبيقه على أرض الواقع. هذه التقنية الضخمة، هذه الديجيتال انفراستراكشر المطلوب أنها تبنى، كيف يمكن إقامتها؟ كيف يمكن حمايتها من الأشرار؟ كيف يمكن استخدام التقنيات الموجودة؟ ماذا نفعل بهذا الكم الضخم من البيانات؟ كيف يمكن أن نحسن حياة الناس لتكون أكثر ازدهارا في واقعنا الذي نعيشه اليوم؟ هذا هو ما يعني التقنيات الذكية أو التقنيات المتقدمة لتطوير المدن الذكية لتكون أكثر ذكاء وديمومة وقدرة على حماية الناس وخصوصياتهم، وفي نفس الوقت تحسين جوهر حياتهم. من أجل هذا كان هذا المؤتمر كصورة يجتمع فيها العلماء والباحثين ورواد التقنية لكي يضعوا تصورا لإمكانية تنفيذ هذه المدن الذكية على أرض الواقع، كيف يمكن الاستفادة من خدماتها، كيف يمكن تطويرها، كيف يمكننا أن نشارك في صناعتها وليس فقط في استخدامها. لأجل هذا كان هذا المؤتمر، لكن أريد فقط أن أعرض على حضراتكم بعضا من الإحصاءات التي تضمنها هذا المؤتمر. المؤتمر يتم برعاية سعادة رئيس مجلس الأمناء وسعادة رئيس مجلس الإدارة الدكتور صالح ملايكة. المؤتمر تقيمه كلية جدة العالمية من حيث الترتيب والتنظيم والتنسيق والاستضافة كاملا. كلية جدة العالمية تقوم به بالتعاون مع هيئة JIC.ICAISC كأحد المؤسسات الأساسية العلمية الضخمة الموجودة في العالم. المؤتمر يتضمن مجموعة من الموضوعات تتعلق بالإنترنت أوف ثينجز، تتعلق بالإنيبلينج تكنولوجي للسمارت سيتي، تتعلق بالاي اي الذكاء الاصطناعي، تتعلق بالسايبر سيكيورتي، تتعلق بالانفورميشن اند كوميونيكيشن تكنولوجي، تتعلق بالدرايفرلس كارز او فيكلز، تتعلق بالانرجي ديستريبيوشن اند انرجي سيستمز. كل هذه الموضوعات محتويات الكونفرنس ومخرجاته كما عرضها سعادة العميد في البروسيدنج الذي سيتم نشره في JIC اكسبلور كأحد المجلات الرائدة في مجال التخصص. تقدم للمؤتمر ما يزيد عن 200 بحث 215 بحث تم تقديمهم للمؤتمر. بعد أول فيرست سكريننج، بعد أول مراجعة مبدئية للمؤتمر، تم استبعاد 27 بحث، والاستبعاد تم بناء على إما أن البيبر ليست كاملة، تم تقديم فقط الانترودكشن والابستراكت لكنها ليست كاملة، أو أن البيبر not relevant to the conference theme، أو أن في نسبة بلاجريزم عالية في البيبر فتم استبعاد هذه الأبحاث. وتبقى لدينا 188 بحث هي التي دخلت في مرحلة الريفيجن، المراجعة تم التعامل مع عدد كبير من المراجعين الذين تفاعلوا معنا بشكل مكثف، كان حوالي 112 مراجع، لكن التواصل كان أكثر من 200 ريفيورز. وكانت عملية المراجعة كل بحث ينبعث أو يرسل إلى 2 من المحكمين، وأحيانا يكونوا 3. والعملية المراجعة بلايند، يعني لا الباحث يعرف مين اللي بيراجع البحث بتاعه ولا المراجع يعرف البيبر بتاع مين، just to obtain يعني أو maintain الأوبجكتيفيتي في عملية المراجعة. بعد عملية المراجعة تم قبول فقط 100 بحث واستبعاد 115 بحث من الأبحاث الموجودة التي تم تقديمها، وهو ما يشير إلى صرامة عملية المراجعة ودقتها والموضوعية التي تمت في هذه العملية. 100 بيبر تم توزيعهم على 24 جلسة علمية. في اليوم الأول عندنا 24 بحث على 5 جلسات، في اليوم الثاني عندنا 40 بحث على 11 جلسة، في اليوم الثالث عندنا 32 بحث على 8 جلسات. الجلسات اللي موجودة تتضمن موضوعات تتعلق بالاي اي، عندنا 40 بحث، موضوعات تتعلق بالانفورميشن اند كوميونيكيشن تكنولوجي 4 أبحاث على جلسة، موضوعات تتعلق ايضا بالسايبر سيكيورتي 8 أبحاث على جلستين، موضوعات تتعلق بانيبلينج تكنولوجي في السمارت سيتي نفسها 12 بحث على 4 جلسات، وهكذا موضوعات ايضا تتعلق بالانفورميشن اند كوميونيكيشن تكنولوجي. المؤتمر كما ذكرنا تضمن 100 بحث، 4 كينوت سبيكرز. السبيكر الأول سعادة البروف منى الشيخ من إمام عبد الرحمن بن فيصل يونيفرسيتي كوليدج اوف ميديسين، دكتور سامر يمك من السنتر فور نتورك اند انتربرايز اكسلنس، دكتور عبد الله الصعيبي مانجر اوف ديجيتال ترانسفورميشن بروجرام، دكتور هلال حسين الاسلاميك ديفلوبمنت بانك انستيتيوت. يتضمن ايضا 2 ورك شوبس، الورك شوب الاولانيه عن جنريتيف اي اي تقدم من شركه ايكون تريننج كومباني، الورك شوب الثانيه عن الريموت اوبريتد فيكلز سمارت تكنولوجي تقدم من شركه نيور. بالاضافه الى هذا عندنا سايبر سيكيورتي كومبيتيشن هاكاثون، يعني قدموا طلابنا كنوع من المسابقه بين الكليه وجامعه جده وجامعه الملك عبد العزيز ككومبيتيشن على مدار الايام الثلاث. ما نراه في المؤتمر هو كما يقولون تيب اوف ذا ايسبيرج، يعني قمه جبل الجليد. وراء هذا عمل ضخم كبير تم فيه بذل كل الجهود، وعملت الكليه بجميع من فيها كفريق متكامل. كان الدعم الكبير من البورد اوف تراستيز والبورد اوف دايركتورز، مجلس الامناء ومجلس الاداره، جهد مشكور في دفع هذا الامر وتبنيه والعمل على انجاحه. ايضا المتابعه الدقيقه لكل تفاصيل المؤتمر يوما بيوم، ويعني تفصيله بتفصيله من قبل سعاده العميد وسعاده المدير العام. ايضا التكنيكال كوميتي الاي تريبل اي كجهه داعمه للمؤتمر يتم تحت مظلتها، التكنيكال بروجرام كوميتي والكور بتاعها قسم علوم والحاسب وتقنيه المعلومات. بالاضافه الى هذا مجموعه كبيره من الكونفرنس كوميتيز الموجوده، Publication Committee chaired by Dr. Muhammad Ishaq and his team, Public Relation Committee chaired by Ms. Rawabi Abu Nar, Local Arrangement Committee chaired by Dr. Mayil Ashwal, Vice Dean of the College, Registration Committee chaired by Dr. Kareem Ahmeda, Sponsorship Committee chaired by Ms. Ihsan and Ustaz Mu'taz, الدين اوفيس كأحد المحركين والمتابعين لكل التفاصيل اللي موجودة أستاذ مشعل والمجموعة اللي موجودة معاه، الفاسيلتيز اند سبورت سيرفيسز ديبارتمنت المهندس أمين والأعمال الكثيرة التي قام بها في هذا الموضوع، أيضا الاي تي ديبارتمنت مهندس عمر وفريقه الموجودين معاه، بالإضافة إلى الفاينانس ديبارتمنت في عملية قبول البيبر والدفع ومثل هذه الأشياء، أستاذ معتز والمستر محيي والمستر رزان، بالإضافة إلى هذا الكونفرنس كوميونيكيشن أوفيسر دكتورة غدير عطار. كل هذه المجموعات وأعضاء هيئة التدريس ممن لم نذكرهم كانوا أحد الفاعلين في هذا المؤتمر كي يخرج بالصورة التي نراها الآن. أشكر لحضراتكم مرة أخرى وأتمنى أن تستمتعوا بما يضم هذا المؤتمر من أوراق علمية وورش ومسابقات. شكرا لكم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
ضيوفنا الكرام، تنطلق الآن أعمال المؤتمر بالجلسات العلمية، حيث نبدأ بالجلسة الأولى عن الإمكانات التحويلية لدمج الذكاء الاصطناعي في الرعاية الصحية ضمن إطار المدن الذكية. تقدمها لنا سعادة الأستاذة الدكتورة منى الشيخ، نائب رئيس الجمعية السعودية للتعليم الطبي بجامعة الإمام عبد الرحمن بن فيصل.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I am proud to be here with you today, and it actually gives my heart a lot of joy to stand in front of JIC faculty and students. I'm very thankful to the eminent people who introduced the topic before me because they said everything. But I'll try to make things even a little bit more explicit. So I will be talking about smart cities as a concept, because I know some of us have heard about it but have not been involved directly into it. We will talk about integrating healthcare into smart cities and what is the impact on the quality of life. We're not talking about disease treatment. We're not talking about prevention of disease. We're not talking about well-being or promotion of health. We are talking about quality of life. So it's a holistic approach to human beings. So what is a smart city? A smart city is a physical structure or an urban area that uses technology, a lot of digital technology, a lot of data-driven science and solutions to enhance the quality of life of the residents or dwellers inside that smart city. Now, by the way, I took a long time to find an appropriate definition, because if you go through the literature, you will find thousands and thousands of definitions. The reason is not because smart city is an obscure concept, but because the concept of smart city evolved over the years. It's not a new concept. It started in 1990, and I want to congratulate JIC for putting so much effort and support and resource into these innovative ideas. And as Dr. Mustafa has shown us today, that there's a lot of effort behind what you see today. So this is a definition that I took after a lot of literature review, but I realized that the concept of smart city started in 1990. As soon as the internet and web-based World Wide Web started, and at that time, we thought of smart city as something that supports economy, something that supports human and social capital. Then, in the next decades, it started thinking that it is a high-tech. The smart cities concentrate or emphasize high-tech and internet and communication technology. Now, then we started now in the 2011 thinking of smart city as producing solutions to urban challenges. As you have heard in the introduction, there are so many challenges that we face in the modern urban structure. Now, the last thing, the most recent articles, 2024, 2023, they talk about smart city as being improvement of quality of life. So it deals with almost every aspect of life that we have. Now, let me just ask you a few questions, and you can raise your hand. If I tell you that smart cities are fully automated, if you agree with that, please raise your hand. Okay, so a few have agreed that it is fully automated. Although smart cities use some technology, but actually they are not fully automated. We still need the human decision, the human governance. The second statement, the smart cities are about technology. If you all agree. Yeah. Without technology, can we have a smart city? No. So it is true that there is Internet of Things, AI, ICT, all of these things, but actually, smart city is not about technology. Smart city is about urban planning, sustainability, and cost effectiveness and social equity. Fourth statement, smart cities are for wealthy areas. If you agree, please raise your hand. Yes. You do agree that it is costly, right? But unfortunately, it's true that the starting cost is high, but actually, smart cities are made for underserved communities because they provide solutions for traffic congestion, for pollution, and lack of accessibility to healthcare. The last statement, the smart cities solve all urban problems. Do you agree? Who agrees with that? You have heard a lot about the kind of problems that a smart city can help with. Nobody raise your hand? Good for you. Because although it offers innovative solutions, actually we still are lagging behind and we cannot address all challenges. But I still have one. Smart cities are expensive. Okay, you all say it's expensive and we need a very rich country to, afford that, which is partly true. The upfront cost is high, but actually it is cost effective on the long term. So if you think they are expensive now, they will not be expensive in the future. And we are always working for the future. Okay, I'll skip this one because you already know. So how do smart cities integrate with healthcare? This is the main topic that I'm here to share with you. They can leverage digital healthcare technologies by implementing cloud-based systems that enhance early prevention, early intervention, accessibility, and optimal resource allocation. So smart cities are actually doing information processing. They are doing a lot of creativity, a lot of innovation to produce sustainable solutions. So this is one model that has been used in smart cities, and I think Dr. Samir can tell you more about that. It is called the centralized system model. Here, there is a structured framework that integrates various components to enhance urban management and improve the quality of life. And it's talking about three things: the physical, the information system, and the function, all integrated together to improve services. In other words, the centralized system model promises us resilience. So the structure of the city is adaptable to the evolving needs of the dwellers or the citizens. There are smart grids to adapt the energy supplement to the needs. There are decentralized energy solutions. There is intelligent transport system. It's also promising us sustainability. So there are smart water and electricity management and automated workforce. So we will not be run out of experts at any time. And livability. Livability means that there is continuous, real-time integration of data coming from sensors and smart gadgets to a centralized decision unit. So decisions are taken about the citizens, about their quality of life, every minute in a real time. So just to reiterate, data acquisition, processing, decision making, which is informed by the processed data. So it looks something like this. So you see in the center, there are huge servers. You have a lot of security going on because we don't want to breach the confidentiality of data of people. And there is a fast data transfer. So I need to collect data and transfer it to these servers. And for example, if we talk about buildings, smart buildings, buildings are designed in a way for optimal utilization of space, optimal security. You can see there is a camera here, and optimal use of energy and water. Smart houses, same thing, optimal utilization of space, energy, water, and even plant or agriculture. Factories, they have optimal productivity with accessibility to the consumer and real-time adoption of the product to the consumer need. And when we talk about hospitals, which is the main topic for me, here there is continuous monitoring and surveillance of healthy people, patients in the community using gadgets like smart watches, smartphones, sensors. And I will tell you about 2 projects which I'm involved in creating those sensors. And this data is collected, is processed, analyzed with very advanced analytics to reach decision, precision medicine or precision diagnosis, and to produce a personalized management plan with early intervention. And of course, the early emergency care accessibility. So how do we integrate the center model of smart city into healthcare? If you look into the literature, we found that there is a co-occurrence of these 3 topics: smart cities, AI in healthcare or digital healthcare, and environmental management. They kind of share a lot of the literature, which means that these 3 topics are really connected. So in the healthcare in a smart city model, it uses advanced analytics of this data that is continuously coming to them with prediction of disease rather than detection. And this uses a lot of AI, like machine learning, like predictive models, like convoluted neural networks, and all of these image processing in order to predict the disease before it occurs, or predict reduction in health, if you like. There's a lot of Internet of Things, so we have a lot of gadgets, a lot of sensors on each dweller, each citizen, regardless of whether he's healthy or not, to just monitor his quality of life. And the sensors will not only detect the people, but also will detect the environment. So if there is pollution, if there's any change in the quality of life in any way, it will be detected. There is digital twinning, and if you are interested in digital twinning, you can go to LEAP. LEAP is starting tomorrow, I think, in Riyadh. They will create a digital twin of you there and then. So if you are standing, they will create a virtual image of you, which looks like you, same physique, same facial structure, same voice, same tone, if they record your voice, and same vital signs and parameters. So it will have the same pulse rate. So in a minute, if your pulse rate goes higher, your virtual twin will have a higher pulse rate. So it mimics you all the time. And this makes it different from simulation. In simulation, the virtual item or entity is completely divorced from reality. While in digital twinning, it's actually connected all the time. So this is interesting. Now, how do we do that? We need a lot of security. And one of the mechanisms, now, of course, the IT people, engineers are better than me in explaining that, but one of them is blockchain. There are many new solutions to maintain security of confidentiality of this data. This is just an example of a digital twinning of the whole city. So you see the physical on the right, the virtual on the left. And what we do with the virtual is that we take the data, we analyze it, and we make the decision and apply it in the real physical entity. This is how the smart hospitals will be in the future in a smart city. So there will be a lot of data coming from healthy people and patients. It will be collected, kept in servers that go to a centralized area. So there are different kinds of, it's called the 3-edge model. It's an IT term. Instead of keeping all the data in one place, which is very dangerous, they have the far edge, near edge, and the edge data center. So you have 3-edge model to deal with this huge data. But the issue is the processing. We need excellent processing, and we need excellent decision support based on these data. So if we want to integrate healthcare into smart cities, we want to go through these phases. First of all, we need to encrypt patient data with cutting-edge technology and protect data from breach. We need to train healthcare digital twin models, optimized model with algorithms, IA algorithms. We need to distribute smart city healthcare device server connection, which is secure. We need to implement data processing and storage distribution to prevent breaches and unwanted access. And we need to verify that smart city healthcare decision-making accuracy and privacy. So you look into those decisions, you evaluate it. Was it really appropriate as told by AI? So AI in healthcare within smart cities, it will connect smart devices to AI-driven healthcare. It will produce real-time patient monitoring, and I will add healthy people as well. So we are not talking about disease, we are talking about humans in general. There will be a remote healthcare accessibility and with reduced emergency response time. So if somebody is about to need emergency, the emergency help will be on its way before even he starts needing it. There will be AI predictive models for healthcare resource allocation, so we know which sectors of this community or this city need primary care more, or need geriatric care more, or they need any kind of tertiary care and so on. And we need to enhance diagnostic accuracy, having precision medicine, clinical decision support units and systems, and personalized management plans. To me, these last things, 3 things, are a dream of every physician. So we are talking about enhancement quality of life. How? By personalized and timely intervention, integration with the environment, AI-driven resource allocation, so the healthcare is present where it is needed most, continuous healthcare indices monitoring, efficient resource management, disaster prevention, chronic and geriatric disease follow-up. So if we talk about disaster prevention, this could have helped us a lot with COVID-19. So let us talk about research within healthcare that will support the smart city. I have seen a lot of proposals that include all of this life cycle together in one proposal. So if you want to invent something, a sensor, for let us say, and you have an idea or a concept, then you need to first make a prototype, make sure you record it as an intellectual property, and then you start thinking of validation. Validation means that this product is actually doing what it's supposed to do. So you need to do it either in a lab, in animals, or in vitro. Clinical trials are in vivo study, where you actually do it on patients or humans to see if there is a difference between those who have the sensors and those who don't. Then you start the phase of manufacturing, marketing, and testing or launching the product, and talking to the people who used it and see how effective it was. So this process cannot be done in one project. I mean, you can, but it will take 6 and 7 years. So if you just end up with a prototype, that's a good research. If you start doing, so let me talk to you about our, I have 2 projects actually about sensors, biosensors. One has been already accepted and the other one is on its way. The smart biomask is a face mask that has, first of all, it's 3D printed with some anti-pathogenic impregnated materials. It has sensors that connect with a smartphone and with the remote servers to tell us a lot about the person who's wearing the mask. It tells us about the vital signs, about the tidal volume, for example, breathing capacity, and it tells us about the inhalation air quality, if there are pathogens, pollutants, any kind of change, temperature. It will tell us about the exhalation quality. So if this person is infected or if he has a biomarker of any disease, all this data will be collected, analyzed, and it will give us a lot of information about the patient. It's a huge project, and I hope we can start soon. This is another project called the Smart Pillow. It's using sensors and ergonomic customized pillow for the measurements of the subject, and it has sensors that can detect sleep quality, breathing, for example, sleep apnea and all these kinds of sleep problems. And we hope that it will also see the light. All this data will go to a remote server, and in the same principle will be analyzed and for any prediction of disease. So if you want to work on skin sensors, this is another area which we have not ventured into. They are wearable devices that the patient will wear or the subject will wear, and they analyze by looking into the sweat composition, volume, and time of release of the sweat. Tells us a lot about the fitness of the person, his eating habits, and his therapeutics, and so on. I will skip the physiology slides. So in summary, the benefits of integrating health in smart care and smart cities is personalized treatment plan. Believe me, we keep saying this personalized for maybe the last 30, 40 years, but we have never been able to do it. Better access to health care. So the patient outcome, if we have personalized treatment plans, we have improved patient outcome and improved patient satisfaction. Increased operation efficiency, faster emergency care, for example, and more cost effective. Reducing the cost is the next one. So decreased healthcare costs to the patient and to the carer. Improved diagnosis, precision medicine by using machine learning algorithms and CNN and all AI. So the take-home message is AI integration transforms healthcare in smart cities. The central system model of smart cities enhances urban efficiency. The collaboration between AI engineers, policymakers, and healthcare providers is essential. It's not a luxury, it's not an option. And the ultimate aim is the enhancement of quality of life. And thank you for listening. I hope I didn't take more time.
شكرا جزيلا للأستاذ الدكتورة منى الشيخ نائب رئيس الجمعية السعودية للتعليم الطبي بجامعة الإمام عبد الرحمن بن فيصل. الآن ضيوفنا الكرام ضمن أعمال المؤتمر نقف عند الجلسة الثانية بعنوان قياس ما يهم التحديات في تقييم مؤشرات المدن الذكية وتأثيرها على رفاهية الحياة في المناطق الحضرية، والتي يقدمها سعادة الدكتور سامر يمق مدير إدارة الاستشارات في تام.
بسم الله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. السلام عليكم جميعا، صباح الخير. Thank you first of all for Jeddah International College for the wonderful opportunity. I'm glad I'm here to talk about the smart cities concept, and there's a plethora of topics to talk about. When I listen to Dr. Mona on the healthcare issues, it's a sea of topics by itself. But from a smart cities perspective, I have slightly different view, let's say. Before we start, I want to just to give you a bit about myself. I am in Saudi since almost 25 years, and I have a master in engineering, a dual MBA, and a doctorate degree from Heriot Watt. I had the great honor to work for great companies like Cisco, Orange, Microsoft, Honeywell, and lately PwC. And I've attended a lot of different workshops over the past few years. Just as a side joke here on the side, yesterday I was in Riyadh and I attended the Riyadh Marathon. I did the full marathon, which is 42 kilometers. I was afraid I would not be able to come because I was very tired, but with a lot of coffee, I made it here. I also want to point out that I do a lot of dishwashing, otherwise my wife will not let me study. Okay, so my research in Heriot Watt is on smart cities benchmarking. We love to have a benchmark. We love to measure ourselves. How are we doing compared to others? Is the city good or bad? On that perspective, I studied, there are 7 globally recognized tools for benchmarking. As you can see here, from ITU, from United for Smart Cities, IESE, all these are global benchmark used as of today in the smart setting. So when a city wants to say, I am the best, my rank is the best, they use one of those 7 tools. These are the most 7 used ones. So I've decided I want to say, are they all aligned? Do they make sense from a benchmarking standpoint? Are they updated enough? Are they useful to every context? So then I started doing some deep dive. I took every benchmarking alone. So this is a quick summary about the tool from, as I said, from ITU. Now, I've put in 4 categories of issues in every benchmarking. So as you can see here, you may have some obsolete, let's say, indices. For example, they talk about, do we have cellular network? They may have excessive KPIs on some elements. For example, they have 10 KPIs on internet. We don't need that much KPIs. They may have a difficult KPI. When you ask somebody, hey, what's your perspective on labor productivity? You cannot really ask somebody that question. So some of those indices are difficult to measure, and they're missing some areas. And Dr. Manna will not like it. But yes, basic healthcare, it's not present. So when you think about all those elements, you realize that why are cities using today the ITU standard if this is missing all those elements? I move to the next one, which is the United Nations one, done by ITU. It's in collaboration. And again, I found a lot of different issues. For example, they still talk about the 3G and 4G, and they talk about, for example, a natural disaster. How do you ask somebody, can you rank your city from a natural disaster standpoint? It doesn't make sense. And there's also a lot of different indices on urban development, quality of life, friendly regulation, etc. The next one was by IESE. It's called Cities in Motion. Again, I studied a lot that element. And for example, they have some obsolete indices like LTE Max. They still talk about it, even though we way beyond it. They ask difficult indices on terrorism. This is very subjective index. You cannot ask a citizen or a practitioner, what's your take on terrorism? It doesn't work. They also have a lot of, again, missing areas like hospitality, healthcare, etc., etc. So just to stop here, you have a tool used today by cities, and it does not talk about hospitality, healthcare, traffic management. I think it was mentioned by Dr. Tufi earlier. Urban development, etc., etc. So how are we using those tools when they are incomplete? Let's move on. Next one is on World Economic Forum. And again, I've started this tool. They still said, do you have the 3G or not? I'm sure you all know we've reached the 6G area, and some universities are doing research in that area. And as of today, if you use the World Economic Forum, there's an index that said, do you have 3G? So just to give you a perspective that where the technology are and what the indices of benchmarking are. So that's why it's very obsolete. You've got also preservation of major car rental companies, total known species. Again, those are indices that are not easy that you can ask individuals or practitioners. And finally, again, there's a lot of missing areas on education, on water, citizen participation, etc. Next one is on called European Smart Cities Ranking Index, ESCR. And it also has a lot of obsolete, as you can see, difficult to ask. I think you gathered the idea. Tool number 6 is by IMD, which is the famous university. And again, it offers something called IT skills taught in schools. This is now obsolete. For difficult indices, like most children have access to a good school. Again, these are some of the obsolete elements. And definitely, as usual, missing areas. I'll skip this one. Finally, we have the last slide, which is the JLL Global Living Index. This is one of the most important tools used by global consulting firms. when it comes to smart city benchmarking. And even so, we have areas which are not tapped. For example, there's no education, there's no healthcare, there's no urban planning, etc. So what's the main takeaway by now? Out of 7 tools that are used as of today, from smart cities benchmarking perspective, there's so many missing elements. There's a lot of obsolete KPIs, and cities are using those old KPIs to rank themselves, which does not make sense. So then what I've realized, I've decided I want to do research. I've done a qualitative research in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. I've interviewed 15 different participants. They are spread in different smart city projects in Saudi. Most of them are in Riyadh, because I'm in Riyadh, but some are in West region. And this is quickly the distribution in terms of gender, in terms of seniority, age group, and nationalities. And by the way, most of these guys have been promoted. So those that were directors, now they are chief level. Those that were senior managers, now they're directors, etc., etc. So it just gives you a blend about the type of people that I've spoken to understand what do you think about smart city benchmarking. I asked them a simple question: tell me, what do you think we should see in a benchmarking? And they start talking. First of all, they all agreed that number one, the definition of smart cities have to cover basic element: water, food, and medical. I think this is what Dr. Mana was mentioning earlier. The definition, and I think this was mentioned by Dr. Mana, definition is unclear. Different entities describe smart cities in different manner. There's a lot of buzzword happening recently on move to cognitive cities. It's still nobody knows, do we have to have a smart cities and the cognitive cities, or are they two separate? From an approach standpoint, they should use smart technology, that's fine. The objective has to be linked of the capability of the city. What does it mean? That's very important. Every city has resources, has people, has let's say capabilities. So that smart city benchmarking has to be parallel to those capabilities. And implementation can be phased. It's nice to have big dreams and big strategies, but it's okay if you phase the approach for smart cities. And finally, there has to be policies developed and frameworks to help regulate the use of sensor, regulate the use of technology, make sure that it's used in an ethical manner. It has to address the city challenges. It was mentioned today in different topics. It has to address the challenges. It has to lead to growth. Why are we here? We're here because we're going to ask ourselves, are we growing or not? And most importantly, again mentioned before, improve the livability index of that city. Now, what are the thoughts on existing benchmarking? I've asked this question to all participants. They all said that they have a concern that the safety index is not present. The KPI, some of them could be appearing as subjective, which means they are not really measuring a city compared to other. Just to stop on this point, some indices are designed to favor a culture or some part of the world, which is not fair. Every benchmarking has to be transparent to all cities. So if a city, for example, is famous for, let's say, green areas, a benchmarking cannot focus only on the green areas just to favor that city to give her grades. Benchmarking has to be objective. They all said that the benchmarking are more suitable to brown cities because of the difficulty in implementing benchmarking. It could be different across cultural locations, may require customization. Benchmark cannot be fixed because things are progressing. Think about technology, think about AI, or driverless cars. Things are progressing, so benchmarking has to cater for all those developments. And finally, KPIs are not clear, some of them, as we saw earlier, or they may not be effective enough. So after interviewing those 15 participants, I built a model which is based on 28 components. Those are in this slide and the next slide. Basically, every benchmarking, if it has to be accurate or objective or useful for a growth of city, it has to cover those elements. So air transport, that has, by the way, they are sorted just alphabetically, not in any order of grading. So it has to have business-friendly regulations to entice companies to come. It has to have a level of capital investment measurement. Are people, companies investing in the city or not? There has to be some sort of participation between the citizen. They are cooperate on co-design, even co-implement the solutions. There has to be some sort of high level of communication. Yesterday it was 4G, today is 5G, tomorrow 6G, great. It has to have some form of communication. Cultural activities, it has to have, for example, something around the arts, the theaters, everything that entice people to love the culture. There has to be data transparency so that it allows all the citizens to see how the government is progressing. There has to be a digital economy. It cannot be on the paperwork side. It has to be all the digitized. There has to be a progress. The city has to be developing. It's called economic prosperity. It has to be growing. It has to be advancing to some level. There has to be a form of education. So basic education, affordable education, available education to all the citizens. There has to be an e-government process. You don't need to file paperwork anymore. Alhamdulillah, in this beloved country, this has advanced way before than other countries, but this is something which is still lacking other countries around or other cities, the e-government element. Electricity, obviously, there has to be a supply electricity to all citizens. Renewable energy, this is something which is, I think it was mentioned earlier about sustainability and efficient use of resources. Employment, there has to be an easy access to employment for all the citizens and inhabitants. And this is the next level of topics. So environment and climate, obviously, we need to worry about the environment, how we consume our carbon, the CO2. Green and protected areas, it would be nice if it has some form of protected areas, like special species or green areas. There has to be a decent healthcare system. And let me stop here so that I don't get blamed by Dr. Mana. I put an asterisk on some of those topics because according to the participant, there has to be a separation between basic and advanced. So basic hospitality, basic healthcare, meaning that affordable access to healthcare to all citizens. But when you speak about advanced healthcare, that's where Dr. Mana comes in. The sensors, the development, the research, etc., etc. So every element with an asterisk means it has to be split into both basic and advanced. There has to be a decent access to housing. I'm able to find my house, whether via portal, whether via announcement on online, whatever it is, it has to be easily accessed. It has to worry about the mortality rates. What's the rate of mortality? There has to be something which is monitored. Recycling, I know that maybe in some of the cities around the world, it's not really advancing on that element, but recycling, nonetheless, is an important topic to always put it at the core front of your development. Safety and security, it was mentioned earlier again today. Monitoring the safety, the cybersecurity safety. Social engagement, some cities are even showing indices how every citizen would help the second citizen, be it your neighbors, be it by planting trees, be it by cleaning the streets. All these are under the umbrella of social engagement. Traffic management could be basic and advanced. So having sensors, having camera to monitor the traffic, maybe even run some AI algorithm to reroute traffics. Public transport, for those who are in Riyadh, we all now seen the witness of the launch of Riyadh Metro, which is one of the elements of the importance of having public transport. So the bus, the transport, the metro, etc. Urban development, cities have to be designed in a way that help easy access to resources, to government entities, to social interaction, etc. So the roads are designed in a way to facilitate people's life. I think there was an interesting example in NEOM recently. They've asked a consultant to study the roads and decide where to implement a bridge so as not to burden the roads with more and more cars if a bridge was added. So urban development is developing the roads network, the building designs, so that we avoid having congestion, we avoid bringing more trouble to city, then we're creating solutions. Water, obviously, this is again something which is very important for every house. It has to have a clear access to water. And finally, diversity and inclusion. This is a growing topic having all over the world, including the diversity, the minority, all society levels. So this is what I've concluded as my research. And finally, as a last takeaway, so why are we here? Smart cities are there to address city challenges, to help quality of life, and by use of technology, obviously, and why we're here again, that was mentioned by Dr. Tariq in the morning, to improve the quality of life of the citizen. And number two, the KPI needs to be SMART. We all know the SMART acronym, specific, measurable, etc. And they should be time-bound. It cannot be forever because things are changing dynamically. There has to be version of those benchmarking every year-on-year basis. And if you want to claim that you're using the right benchmark, your start is those 28 topics which I just showed. Thank you all. Hope you enjoy the session. Thank you.
شكرا جزيلا للدكتور سامر يمق مدير إدارة الاستشارات في تام على هذا الطرح. ضيوفنا الكرام، وصلنا إلى ختام الحفل الافتتاحي للمؤتمر الدولي الثاني في الابتكار المتقدم في المدن الذكية. ختاما لهذا الافتتاح المميز نتوجه بالشكر الجزيل إلى الرعاة والداعمين والمشاركين الذين ساهموا في إنجاح هذا المؤتمر وعملوا على تحويله إلى منصة عالمية للحوار العلمي والتقني، ونتشرف بتكريمهم على جهودهم المتميزة. يتفضل الآن سعادة الدكتور طارق حمدي عميد الكلية ورئيس المؤتمر لتكريم الرعاة والمشاركين. نبدأ بتكريم الضيوف المتحدثين. الأستاذة الدكتورة منى الشيخ، الدكتور سامر يمق، الدكتور عبد الله الصعيبي، الدكتور هلال حسين، تكريم الرعاة وورش العمل. منظمة مهندسي الكهرباء والإلكترونيات، يتفضل المهندس إبراهيم نصار. مؤسسة رؤية سديل، يستلمها الأستاذ خالد بن عايض الحارثي. شركة نيور، تستلمها الأستاذ روان بخاري. شركة آيكون للتدريب، تستلمها الأستاذ نوف بن نايف الظاهر. رؤساء اللجان التنظيمية، الأستاذ يزيد التونسي، الدكتورة مي الأشول، الأستاذ الدكتور مصطفى نوفل، الدكتور محمد إسحاق، الدكتورة كريمة حميدة، الأستاذة غدير عطار، الأستاذ معتز الثقفي، الأستاذ إحسان أبو الحمايل، الأستاذة روابي أبو نار، الأستاذ الدكتور حسنين برهموتشي. شكرا جزيلا لكم أصحاب السعادة سيدات والسادة ضيوفنا الكرام. تستمر بعد حفل الافتتاح الجلسات العلمية والتخصصية، حيث تنتظرنا مناقشات ثرية حول أحدث الابتكارات والتقنيات التي ستشكل مستقبل المدن الذكية. تجدون كما هو ظاهر أمامكم أجندة المؤتمر من جلسات علمية وورش عمل. بعد حفل الافتتاح يقوم سعادة العميد بجولة على ورش العمل والجلسات الحوارية. شكرا جزيلا لكم، والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
هلا ها ما ادري طلعوا دحين بس ما ادري طلعوا. سياخذوا تور وزي كذا. بسم الله. أهلا دكتور، تحت أمرك يا دكتور. والله
الرسائل شغالة عليها من الصبح. ها فين الصورة؟ فين الصورة؟
أنت احتياجك للصورة إيش تكون؟
ايوه خلينا نكلمهم على الصورة.
احتياجك للصورة